You're watching my live cover of Stranger Things. What looks like a normal performance is actually a high wire act. I'm not playing along backing tracks. Every sound you hear is generated live, sending audio and MIDI back and forth between my synth and the computer. If I mess up the routing or the playing, it stays messed up or I need to start over. So let me show you exactly how this system works. I'm going to show you how I connect, route, and perform with hardware synths in Ableton. MIDI, audio routing, or the wiring, and how that turns into an actual live performing system. At the center of the setup is Ableton. I use it to record MIDI and audio directly from my synths into clips. Some of those clips are looped, others are just played once live. Very important is, every instrument of the setup is just one button away from being recorded. But the real problem is doing this while you are performing. I'll show you how I solve that later. And that is what lets me build a performance instead of just playing along backing tracks. The core idea of this system is very simple. I use MIDI where I want flexibility, and I use audio where I want commitment. And Ableton is the place where it all comes together. Let's start with the Pro 3. You don't need exactly this synth. It's more about the principles I'll show you. In this setup, I recorded either as audio or as MIDI. And then for parts I want to have more control about the sound and the performance, I just record a MIDI clip in Ableton. Ableton then loops the MIDI file and sends it back to the Pro 3. For this, I'm using 2 tracks, one MIDI and one audio. You also could use Ableton's external instrument plugin, but as this is not part of every Ableton version, I'll show you that way you can use with every version. It is important that you connect the correct MIDI and audio channels inside of Ableton. And now when the MIDI track is looped and sent back to the Pro 3, I can keep shaping the filter, envelopes, modulation throughout the whole performance. But there's one trade-off. As long as the MIDI is running and it's playing on the Pro 3, I can't use it for anything else. But in return, I get a lot of control during the performance. My Take 5 plays a different role, although you could do the same thing, hook it up via MIDI and audio to Ableton. I use it differently. As this is a polyphonic synth, I use it mainly for pads, for chords. Most of the time, I record it as audio directly into Ableton. That said, the Take 5 still has a MIDI job, but a different one. It controls parts of my Eurorack via MIDI. That allows me to record the modular as well, using the Take 5 as a MIDI keyboard. One important thing here is the routing, so that there is no conflict between the 2 audio tracks. If I'm only using the Take 5 as a controller, I need to disable its audio input inside of Ableton. Otherwise, you'd hear both at the same time, unless that is exactly what you want. And sometimes I'm doing exactly that, playing the Take 5 for its internal sounds and also controlling the Eurorack, so I have a layer of both. That gives me 2 sound sources from one keyboard without adding a controller for the Eurorack. The Eurorack itself is mostly audio for me. I use it for drones, textures, and for evolving sounds. Things that don't repeat the same way twice, and thus don't need to be looped. Once it's running, I record it into Ableton and just let it evolve on its own. The second part is the Model E that I'm controlling with the Take 5, mostly for basses or leads, and this is also recorded via audio into Ableton Live. Sometimes looped, sometimes only played live. All of this assumes one thing: your interface can handle it. Pro 3, Take 5, and the Eurorack. That's at least 5 tracks or even more running simultaneously. I use a Patchbay just down there to keep the routing organized. But I'm mostly not repatching during the performance. It's more like a set and forget. Effects, either in Ableton as software plugins or use hardware effects like pedals and patch them into the Patchbay. It's up to you. That is the infrastructure. Now let's talk about actually controlling this. Remember the problem I mentioned earlier? Here is the solution. To actually realize all of this in a performance, I need a simple way to control Ableton. Start recording, stop recording, launch clips, and adjust levels if needed. That's it. The controller doesn't define the system, it just lets me operate it without sitting at the computer. And all of this isn't just a live setup, it's also my recording process. While I'm performing, Ableton captures everything into the arrangement view. When I'm done, the take is done, no overdubs, no safety nets. And that's the same way my Stranger Things cover you saw at the beginning was made. One take, live, done. And if you want to see the finished result of this session, watch the full cover here. Thanks for watching, see you in the next one, make more music and